Live for Philly Gaming Expo interviews. And so, for people who don't know you, can you tell us who you are and what you do in the gaming industry?
Sure. I'm Peter Bryant. I'm one of the partners of Solarian Games. Our flagship product, which you might know us by the best, would be Top Secret. And back in a couple of years back, we had Gygax magazine for a while before that wound up getting discontinued.
Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, technical difficulties here.
That's fine. I'm so used to technical difficulties. We get them with our shows all the time.
Yeah, so you were telling me about the show that you've been running, Nitwits.
Oh, so that show has been I think it's been off the quote unquote off the air for about 3 years now, but I did it for about 7 years. It was a show called Mythwits, and we interviewed all kinds of people from anywhere in the geek pop culture. So gaming, science, comic books, anything like that. And we had a whole bunch of really good guests. I mean, we had an astronaut one time. We had the guy who made Ren and Stimpy, who invented Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Bob Camp. He came on our show one year. So it was a good time. But that show was very, as you can imagine, trying to hustle those kind of guests every week, and it was a very high production value. And it was back in the days when streaming wasn't quite as easy as it is today. Like there wasn't a one solution thing where you could meet people online and then stream that. They were two separate things. So you would have to do your meeting software on one setup, and then you'd have to use like something like OBS or whatever to then capture that and then stream it live. Oh my God, it was crazy. But yeah, after a while I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's just way too much work. So so we retired that show, but we have a new one now, me and my partner from Solarian Games. It's called Tabletop Weekly, and then every week we do a couple news items, and a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times we'll have a guest on, and they hang out with us and talk about stuff in the gaming industry. And then if they have like a product or something they're doing, which they usually do, we spend the rest of the show talking to them about that, interviewing them about whatever it is they're doing.
That sounds so cool. When is it on?
It comes on Sunday nights, and we stream live. And of course, it's on our Facebook page and YouTube as well, afterwards. But and the time changes a little bit. It's primarily Sundays at 8. Okay. But because we interview people from all over, a lot of times we'll go early. So we had some people from Ireland. We had a couple guests from Ireland, and we were going on at like 6.
Yep.
And then we interviewed somebody who was I can't remember exactly where they were, but they were even further over. So we did them at 3 o'clock, but generally 8 o'clock on Sundays. And we haven't missed an episode yet. We've gone every week for like the last 77 weeks, which is crazy.
Wow,
I thought for sure we would miss one by now, but we haven't missed any.
It's hard to do. Like when I was streaming, it was really hard to plan every week.
Yeah, it is. It's a commitment to like say, because there's been times where I was kind of sick, but I like sucked it up and did the show because it's online. I'm not going to get anybody else sick, right? I'm sitting in my office.
Yeah.
So that gets to be a little bit much. And then there's holidays, and if you go on a trip or whatever, I think there was one episode that Jason wasn't on, and there was one episode that I wasn't on, but the show went on anyway. Jason would get a guest or I would get a guest, so that was pretty cool.
Cool. So tell me about Nerdy Dog Productions.
Nerdy Dog. Oh, okay. Nerdy Dog. Right. All right. So I have a buddy of mine, Steve, who is an independent filmmaker, and his company is called Nerdy Dog Productions.
Okay.
So he makes indie films. And being that we're kind of best friends, I've been a part of that, but I'm not like integral to it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like I join him on things. So I'll show up as an actor in a part, like have a part in one of his movies. I've scored 2 soundtracks for him, and that's not as fancy as it sounds. I mean, it was basically just kind of like bed music, because the movies were only like 20 minutes or 30. They're shorts, right?
Yep.
So 20 or 30 minutes. So I did the soundtrack behind it, which is usually just soundtrack type music, not like singing or anything like that. And then of course any kind of Foley work. So if if the footsteps weren't captured, I'd throw them in, or there was a couple special effects, I'd throw them in. And then he did do one movie. He did do one movie that was close to 2 hours, and but I was working. I couldn't like take off work for a couple of weeks to like play a major role in it. But I did have one part in it that was a major character, but he was only in it for like 15 minutes. I played this demon. So there was a demon that struck a deal with somebody. So they painted me up red and put horns on me, and I was the demon in that. So that's Nerdy Dog Productions. It's
awesome.
It's a fun thing. He's I won't be doing anything with him for the next 2 years because he took a contract over in Malaysia. So he's doing film work over there. But when he comes back, he and I have we've been talking about writing a movie together and doing a movie together.
Oh, that sounds like an amazing opportunity.
It's fun. I mean, there's like I said, it's indie filmmaking, so there's not like a lot of money in it. We really do it mostly for fun.
Yep.
And you know, his indie filmmaking is what got him his job in Malaysia right now. So he's been able to like capitalize on it and like, you know, make something with it. But it's mostly just, you know, independent filmmakers doing stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. So it's like a labor of love. You know?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. You know, I like acting. I don't know if I'm a good actor or not. People tell me I am, but I don't know how to judge that. So maybe.
Yeah.
But it's fun to do. I like doing it. So I think as a lifetime gamer, I think every gamer has a little bit of an actor in them.
Yes.
I think they have to, right?
Yeah, of course they have to.
Yeah.
So tell me about Solarian Games. What's a typical day like for you?
All right. So Solarian Games is it's our obviously our role playing company. We back is it 6 years ago now? 5 years ago? We were TSR. So going further back, the TSR name had come up, the trademark had come up, and my partner Jason picked it up, and he got with Luke and Ernie Gygax, Tim Kask, Frank Mincer, and a couple of the other old school crew from back in the TSR days, and they relaunched a TSR. Now, they worked with Wizards, talked with Wizards, made sure they weren't stepping on any toes, and you know, it wasn't recreating TSR stuff. It was primarily just sort of like the spirit of it, right?
Yep.
And they made Gygax magazine, so we got out 6 issues of that. And then there were some legal issues with other people claiming trademark this and trademark that or whatever. I don't want to get into those particulars, but basically we had to stop the magazine. And then there was like this really short lapse on the TSR trademark, and some guy picked it up. I won't go into all that, but he picked it up. And we could have fought it. We were like, nah, you know, it's not even worth it because Luke's not with us anymore. Neither is none of the Gygax people are with us anymore. Tim and Frank had gone on to do other things as well. And we were like, we're just going to rebrand because we were going to do it anyway.
Yep.
So we just decided, you know what? Let's just rebrand, do it now. This is a great time to do it. So we did that. And then, you know, we had put out Top Secret prior to the name change, but we still have that. We still have that license, and we're still working with Merle and doing that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how Solarian came about. As for our typical day, we both have, you know, full-time job type deals. So that's usually like the evenings and weekends, and, you know, I take time off and do stuff. Or if the government shuts down for 6 weeks, being that I'm a government worker, I get 6 weeks to work on product, which is cool.
Oh.
But yeah, we put out stuff pretty regular. I mean, it's for 2 guys who do it mostly part-time. I think we've been pretty prolific in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got stuff coming out all the time. I got working on 2 products I can't talk about right now, but they're future products that are coming out. Working on them right now. Getting ready to launch a new game next about a month and a half, so March, first part of March, called More Blood, which is gonna be our new big game. And we're continuing to support Top Secret. We have a Patreon, so we put out stuff every month. So that's Solarian.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Top Secret, that's you roll 3 dice, 13 is a success.
Yep.
And I'm interested, why is there no D20?
Well, because I think, you know, I wasn't on the design project, but I know enough about it. That was primarily James, Jason, and Merle. And primarily James. James was sort of like the designer, whereas Merle was sort of the writer, and Jason like was the in between basically. James loved the whole idea of Lucky 13. So that's where that came from, right? He just liked the idea of Lucky 13.
Yep.
So he kind of built the game around that. And if you have a 20-sided, it's too easy to get a 13, I think. So I think that's why. But yeah, you roll 3 dice, and part of the concept is they didn't want to do a lot of addition and subtraction, and this modifier and that modifier, and this difficulty and that difficulty. Basically, you roll 3 dice, and the dice are determined by your stat, attribute, and difficulty. And just got to get a 13. So 13 is a success, always a success. 13 or better.
Sounds like such a fun game.
Yeah, it keeps it easy.
And you have other titles too.
Yeah, so we have let me think. So we have Top Secret, and then all the stuff we're putting out for Top Secret. We have some stuff. We have like Anarchy, which is a book that's about to go out of print. So if you want to get a copy of that, you gotta let us know soon because it's almost gone. And we're not going to do a reprint on that. That was one of James's games, and since James passed away, we're just gonna let it retire. We working with his wife, talking with his wife. She hangs out with us still. She's in the booth right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, let's just retire that one." It was a small game anyway. It was a little pocket game, a lot of fun game.
It was like close to pop.
Yeah, it was a post. It was so if you take. If you got to be old enough to understand this to really get the reference properly. Imagine it's 1985 and the apocalypse happens, and this game is set in like 1980, I'm not sure if it's like a couple years later, 10 years later, whatever, but it's the post-apocalypse as viewed from somebody from 1985.
Okay.
So Ronald Reagan's like on the cover, I think, even, or not. It's not on the cover, but he's in the book. So it's kind of like a retro future. So, you've seen things where it's like, it's the future according to the 60s, or it's I think Fallout is like the future according to the 50s or 60s. Well, this is the future according to 1985. So it's a fun little game.
That's cool.
And we've got, we don't have any, I don't think we have any other actual titles active right this minute. We got a Tales from the Fallen Empire. Again, that was another James game, and that's for DCC.
Yep.
So Dungeon Crawl Classics. But we do have, like I said, we got more Blood coming out very soon. We've got a game we're working on called Boombox. We got another game that we're working on. Again, I can't talk about it right now, but we got another one coming out in maybe 6 months. But we're working. I'll give you a hint. We're working with a guy named Flint Dilley. If you know that name and you know the history of Top Secret, you might be able to figure it out.
Okay. I've heard the name. I'm not really sure, but
Flint used to work with Gary Gygax back in the day when he went to Hollywood. So Flint was the guy that helped. I think he helped work on the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I'm not really sure what role he played, or if he was just a contact person or what. I don't know his full role, but I know he was working with Gary during that time. But I'm not 100% clear what he was working on.
Yeah. So did you work on Top Secret?
No, actually, I joined the crew right as Top Secret. The Kickstarter was about to launch, so they had already written it and done all the design and stuff for it. I knew all these guys, but I hadn't actually joined the crew. So I had joined up with them, and I did the video for the Kickstarter. So that's like, so if you can imagine, I joined right before the Kickstarter started. So that's been my involvement with the original box set. But I've done I've been involved in all the writing since then. So there's been a couple things that I've written primarily, a bunch of stuff I've worked on with other people, and then a couple pieces that I've just kind of contributed to. I primarily do all the Patreon work. So I've done a lot of Top Secret writing, but I did not actually work on the box set.
Okay. So what's the most exciting part of game design for you?
All right. So in my day-to-day career, I'm an engineer. So I love, like numbers and figuring out how to like make things work. So I love the game design part of it, the mechanics.
Yep.
So I kind of refer to myself as a gaming gearhead. I love getting in there and working on the engines and stuff. Now I do enjoy writing a lot as well. But if I had to pick my favorite, it'd be the game design itself, working out the mechanics and figuring out how this game actually plays.
Yep. See, I think that would be the most challenging part for me because I can't do math to save my life.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, not everybody's a math person. Like, I'm not an English person. I love to write, but God, I feel like I need an editor for my emails. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
like I can misspell a word so fast.
Oh, me too.
So terrible.
Spell check.
Yeah. Well, and then the spell check will pick the wrong version of that word, whatever, and I won't even realize it. I'll be like, yeah, sure, it sounds looks good.
Yeah.
But no, I the writing part of it's hard for me. The math comes easy. But again, I'm an engineer. That's what I do. It's like, that's my thing.
Yep. Now you've done a lot of collaboration with other game studios, right?
I have. I've worked with. I did some work with Artal Sorian, back prior to Cyberpunk Red. So there was Cyberpunk 2020, and then there was this kind of in between product that they put out. And I can't remember. I think it was 20. It was like 23, like 2003, and then in like an X. So I think it's like 2030s or something. I'm not really sure exactly how that was supposed to be pronounced.
Okay.
But yeah, I worked on 2 of the books that went with that, and a little bit of the artwork that went into the book, I believe. I don't know. I was sort of like a subcontractor on that. So a buddy of mine, Jay, was actually working primarily with Mike Pondsmith, and then I was working with Jay, and he was sort of like kind of heading it up. But that was in my stage when I was doing artwork for games, not so much writing and design at the time, like with other people. I was pretty much just doing artwork at that time. And then I worked with a company called Tritech Games. So Tritech is a company that's been around forever. I mean, they've been around since the late 70s, and they've had a couple games. Most of I always say it's like the greatest games you never played. They have a game called Bureau 13 Stalking the Night Fantastic. That's the one that most people remember.
Okay.
And they had a game called Fringeworthy. Now, Fringeworthy is one of my favorite role-playing games of all time. Not for the system, but for the setting. And me and my group have taken that setting and applied it to multiple different systems over the years because we just love the setting. It's interdimensional traveling and stuff. And so I did some work on their D20 version, helped them with a little bit of design, some writing, and I did the cover art for it.
Wow.
Yep.
You really are a jack of all trades.
Yeah, but I don't know that I'm a master of any of them. The artwork I did was back during my phase when I was doing like 3D art generation. So like there was a program called Poser. There was a program called Daz Studio. I've worked in both of those. So I would do like a 3D rendering and then pull it into Photoshop and and do some additional like special effects and fixing colors and all that kind of stuff, because I was trying to take away the pure 3D aesthetic, because a lot of people don't really care for like pure 3D art. So I was trying to I would do work on it so it didn't look just like that.
Yeah.
But I got out of it because it turned out that the gaming community wasn't really fond of the 3D art, and I get it. Some of it was because there was a lot of people putting out a lot of really bad 3D art.
Yeah.
And because it was very accessible, very easy for people to like generate something, but still hard to generate something good.
Yeah.
But a lot of like, I don't know, in my opinion, sub-tier art went out for that. Not to step on anybody or give any play with shade on anybody, but stuff it just wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
So I got out of that and just went back to writing and design.
Yeah. And what's the most challenging part of game design?
Ooh, I find it's the hardest part is trying to create something that is new, like brand new to people, but also accessible enough to them. I've done some game design where things were really like off the wall thinking and stuff, but it was too much. Like people couldn't wrap their head around it. And that makes sense. It's like when you're doing like world design and stuff, if you create a world that has all these different races that are completely different than anything anyone's ever seen before, that's really cool. But at the same time, it's very hard for people to like jump into that. The awesomeness that you did to create this unique thing is also the barrier to get people in. Because like if you throw elves in, everybody knows what elves are. That's easy, right? It's an easy sell. But if you've got like the Forgottamunker or whatever, someone's like, I don't know what that is. I'm having a hard time understanding this. So it's that balance of creating something that's really cool and unique, but yet still accessible by people so that they'll like actually play and jump in on it. And beyond that, I would say trying not to over design things, because I've done a lot of that as well. I've designed stuff that I think is awesome, and then I take it to a convention and I play it with people, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so crunchy. No one's gonna want to play this. Like, it's really cool and it's realistic and everything. It's great, but it's really not coming across as I wanted. It's not as fun as I would like it to be.
Yep.
So that's where I find the challenge.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Like, the simpler you can make it, the better, I think.
Yeah, most of the designers I talk to, it really is a very common practice where you design and you design big, and then you cut back. So you throw your clay down, you make your thing, and then you trim away until you have what you were really looking for.
Yeah. That's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I do it.
So how are you enjoying the convention so far?
I like it. I came here last year. We were impressed with what Ron was doing here, so we really liked it. So we decided to come back. It seems like it's twice the size it was last year. There's mazes to go through to get to games and stuff, which is fun.
Yep.
The Thursday and Friday vending was very slow for us this year. I think maybe a couple people I talked to was pretty similar. So whatever, we kind of made up for a lot of that today. We've done a lot of sales today. Today's been pretty good. I do like the spaces. So with all the tables that are here in this big open space, I thought it was going to be very noisy to run at a table.
Yep.
But it turns out not so much. I think the sound gets I didn't have any issues with hearing people when I thought I would. But no, it's good. The space is good. The temperature's good. Lots of good people here.
Yeah. I played in some games, and I was worried that it was going to be super noisy, but it wasn't. So
right.
Now, you said you ran some games earlier?
I did. I ran one game. I ran a game of Top Secret, and that went over well. And I got a game tomorrow called which one am I running tomorrow? Hold on. Oh yeah, right. I'm running a game called More Dungeons, which is it's a fun play on our game More Blood. So we got the game More Blood coming out, which is arena battles in the future. And I was like, oh, you could do this with dungeons, right? You could just literally just throw down a dungeon map. So basically the idea is you don't play campaigns with this. These are literally just dungeon. It's a system just set up for dungeon crawling.
Okay.
So the character you play, you're not going to advance or anything. You just literally just go through the dungeons, kill monsters, and get treasure.
Okay.
That's it. So I'm running that tomorrow, so that should go over well, I think.
Oh, cool. So have you had a chance to check out any other vendors?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of vendors here. We were kind of jokingly calling it VendorCon, but there was a lot of vendors here and lots of good stuff. Matter of fact, I've only been through about half the vendors so far because we got our own booth that we're running, and I'm spending a lot of time in there.
Yep.
And so I got to get out and check the rest of the vendors. Like, I haven't even been down this artist alley yet. It looks good.
Yeah. We did a chunk of it today. Hopefully we'll finish it tomorrow.
Right.
But there's lots of cool stuff here.
Yeah.
So if you had to pitch Page to someone who's never been before, what would you say?
Okay. Yeah, this is easy. So I would say that one of the things that I have a hard time with is the fact that all the cons I normally go to are all far away. Right. I live in Maryland. I live in Bel Air.
Yep.
And so I have to drive like 6 hours or fly somewhere to go to most of the conventions I go to. And I'm just hold on a second. And I'm just really happy that there's a con that I can drive to like in an hour and a half. And it's not like a little con. It's a nice big con full of everything you would expect from just about any other convention. Not quite as big as, say, Gary Con yet, but I swear it has the bones for it. I see this getting bigger and bigger every year. So,
yeah, so do I.
So many games to play here. anything you want to play, I bet is here, and no shortage of vendors, as we already said. And Ron does a good job. It's very well organized. I've had no issues organizational wise. Like I show up, everything is where it should be. Everything runs the way it should run. No issues whatsoever. Staff is awesome. Everybody here is really friendly and helpful and knowledgeable. They know what they need to do. If they don't, they know exactly who to go to. So it's been great.
Yep. Well, I don't want to keep you.
Okay.
We are at time, so thank you so much for the interview, and I hope to see you at TotalCon.
Awesome. Yeah. You will. You'll see me at TotalCon because I'll be there. I never miss it. I mean, unless a tragedy happens, but let's not hope for that, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys watching this want to check us out, check out SolarianGames.com. That's the best place to just find us. And
I want to visit your booth because you guys do it's like a goth kind of game, I think.
Do we have a goth game? No, I don't think we have the. Do we have a? Oh, we were working on one. I don't know where that is at the moment. Mary was working on it. It's called Witchlight.
Okay.
That one was in development. I'm not really sure what the status of that one is at the moment. Unfortunately, James, our third partner who had passed away, he was working on that with her. And
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure if she's going to continue with it or not. But we're supporting whatever she wants to do.
Okay.
And then, you'll have to attend the Golden Fez. I just want to mention this. We do in James's honor, we do an award show every year. So we're going to hand out awards for the Golden Fez this year. So that'll be cool.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh, are we live? So I'm here with John McGuire. So nice
Hi.
to meet you.
It is lovely to meet you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
So for those who are unfamiliar, can you tell us what you do in the gaming industry?
Certainly can. So my name is John Hambone McGuire. I am the co-publisher of Ham and Egg Publishing, co-creator of 321 RPG and Zombie Brain Eaters, and I am the co-host. I'm a co a lot. The co-host of the Vintage RPG podcast.
All right. So how did the Vintage RPG podcast get started?
So Stu Horvath, who is the author of Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground, actually started an Instagram called Vintage RPG and has been running it now for almost 10 years. And I had just got into podcasting back in 2016. And Stu's one of my dearest friends. We live 3 blocks from each other, like right down the road. And so I was looking to try to build my own podcast network, get more shows. And I thought, man, it'd be a great idea to talk to Stu about tabletop RPGs. So I pitched him the idea. He was into it. Now, here's the thing. I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to tabletop RPGs. Like, I don't know the history. Never knew much about history, all of that. But I am really good at bringing questions to Stu and bringing things at us, Stu, because he literally wrote the book, Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground, a guide from D&D to Tabletop Mothership. So he knows all this stuff. He's read all this stuff. He's very well versed in all this stuff. So we hang out, we verbally spar back and forth and tell jokes, and he tells me about the history of RPGs, and I give him kind of a bridge to the audience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when do you do your podcast?
So we release every Monday. So we pretty much do a show every single week. But occasionally something comes up, life gets in the way, so maybe we skip a Monday, and then we take off the end of the year. So the last 2 weeks of December, first week of January, we're on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how did you get the name Hambone?
I don't know if I could work blue on this show, so it's a story for another day.
Gotcha. Okay. So 3, 2, 1 action.
Yeah.
Can you describe it for us?
Sure. So, funny fact about 3, 2, 1 action. It was initially called 3, 2, 1 action. And then it was called 3, 2, 1 action RPG. And we've been trying for years. We're about 5 years into this now, going into our 6th year. And we're always trying to find a way to really convey what we do to an audience. And we came up against 2 things. One, 3, 2, 1 ... action exclamation point. Impossible to search for in SEO. 3, 2, 1 action RPG didn't really sum up what we were, because what we are is a D10 roll under system. You want to roll at or below your stat, roll high for damage. Anytime you get into a jam, you could talk your way out of it by filling the plot hole in 2 sentences. And we just give you a framework to tell any kind of story you want to tell. So you want to do something in the Old West, if you want to do a bank heist, if you want to go and do horror, if you want to do fantasy, we give you the framework to do it all, and we're giving it to everyone in the core rule book. But we landed on 3, 2, 1 RPG on a lark, because when we were going to actually do a backer kit for our core rule book, we were working with BackerKit, and they sent us an email back. On the top of the email, it said 3, 2, 1 RPG instead of 3, 2, 1 action RPG. And my partner Gio Colazzo, who is the co-creator of 3, 2, 1 RPG, the co-publisher with me, he looks at me, he's like, that should be the name of the game. And I was like, but we've got 5 years of brand recognition and all this stuff. He's like, do we? Because no one could find us on the internet. So due to a serendipitous interaction with BackerKit, a week before we launched, after we did a whole bunch of promo as 3, 2, 1 action RPG, we rebranded in 7 days, and that was been good ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So are you a forever DM, or do you like to play in your own games? Or
I never get to play. I am the forever DM. However, it's great when I come to conventions and my buddies are running their games or running something else, that I'll get to jump in. But I mean, there was a solid, I would say, for instance, I've been the DM now for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And during the pandemic, because everyone was so isolated from each other, and like I wanted to kind of give a lifeline out to a lot of people and make them feel welcome and give them something to look forward to. So I just kind of ran every game under the sun, and I put out word on social media like, if you are going out of your mind, come play. Let's hang out. I'll run a game for you. And then I did that for like a bunch of years, and then I ran my own campaigns for a bunch of years, and I hit a point where I was just burnt out. So I stopped DMing, and then I didn't get to play. I just started writing games.
Yep.
But now I get to play a little bit more. Not enough though.
Yeah. I think it's a balance, you know. You need time to play.
Yeah.
To recharge your DM muscles.
Yeah, and honestly, I love being a DM. I love everything about it. But there's some moments where I'm just like, that would have been more fun on the other side of the screen. So
So why do you describe yourself as bard by trade, but a ranger by night?
Oh, I don't even know if I wrote that for myself. I think my buddy George wrote that for me. Well, I am a bard by trade. I'm a lifelong musician. I was a traveling salesman. I used to sell blenders on the road. I would go to places like Costco and the state fairs, not the state fairs with the costumes, like, you know, the Meadowlands State Fair, the Big E up in New England. And I was a pitch man. I pitched blenders and stuff like that. So, you know, bard by trade, and then ranger by night. I mean, by night, I'm mostly snoozing by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, reading comic books in bed. So I don't know where that came from, but I'm going with it because it sounded good.
That sounds like us too.
Yeah.
We're always early risers.
Listen, I used to be I was very much a night owl. But now as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm like, oh man, you know what's great?
Yep.
Tapping out. I got a nice mattress. I'd like to spend some time there.
When I was a teenager, there were nights where I'd stay up till like 4 a.m. just writing a book.
Yeah. Yeah, and why not?
And it was so weird because middle of the night was the only time that I was creative.
Yeah, and only time when everything's quiet, no one's bugging you.
Exactly.
So I get it.
So what was the process like to co-create the game?
So Geo and I have been creative partners now for well over 2 decades, and he's my best friend in the world. So it was just us hanging out and like working on things together and just coming up. I had a concept. The concept was me at first, and I don't say that in any like I created the system, but I say that as like I had this concept because during that pandemic, when I'm running these games for everyone, I kept seeing like a lot of hurdles for people, and even like basic, you know, say 5e D&D, still a lot of hurdles for people to get into it for the first time. It's daunting. The book's the size of a college textbook.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try to get something simple. So the idea initially started out as a riff on Chaosium's basic role playing, but I'd also been the guy that, and I think a lot of creators can relate, for years that I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. Geo and I, we would go to Gen Con, we'd go to the writer symposiums, and then he started writing a book and I didn't. And in fact, his first middle grade fantasy novel, we actually have it for sale here today. It's for sale over at our booth. But he finished his novel. And so I, after a lot of false starts, was like, I'm not going to bring this to him until I know I'm going to do it. So I came up with that idea for the system, and I started working on the actual story. And then he was like, hey, you really want this to be simple for everyone? I said, yeah. He said, well, then drop the 0. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, don't make it a D10 system. Don't make it a D100 system. Make it a D10 system where the only dice you need to roll is a D10. And my mind was blown. And it made the most sense. And it was what I really wanted to do was create that, like, hey, you just roll this dice, 1 dice.
Yep.
And because most people can count to 10. You know, hanging out with my goddaughter during the early days of the pandemic while she's watching Sesame Street and like CoComelon and like Blippi, and like they're learning how to count ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Like, we made a system so you don't have to do more than add or subtract 1, 2, or 3 from whatever you're rolling on a D10. We keep it really simple.
That's great.
So he is. I liken it to I am the battle axe, and he is the scalpel, and that's been kind of our relationship for the last 20 or so years, and it's worked out great. You know, he's the person I love to collaborate with the most. We have a lot of fun, and then he'll like write stuff in secret because he wants to get my like true and pure reaction out of it. And then he'd be like, "Hey, buddy, read this," and I'll read it, and I'll be like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever read," and I'll pop and I'll get excited about it. He's like, "All right, cool," because he knows he knows what I'm gonna say, but he wants to know that I mean it.
Yeah.
So
what's the most exciting part of that process, and what's the most challenging part?
So I think the most exciting part of the process for me is the coming up with the idea and then trying to figure out how it actually works. It's kind of wild. Like I did the R.L. Stine masterclass because I was like, why not? And he basically tells you to start at the finish.
Yes.
Like know what the finish is, and then you'll get there. And so like I always kind of come up with the finish, and I will then come up with characters, and I'll start building lives for these characters and how they're going to interact and how I want them to interact. And then I'll start, branching off from there. And so for me, the world building is the most exciting part. And once I get it to like a cohesive place and some story ideas and beats, I'll just hand it off to Gio, and he'll do the bulk of the writing of the actual story bits of it,
Yeah.
Because I'm more mechanics and world building. He is more story oriented and like basically making the thing really sing. Like I always say he's the magic,
Yep.
but he really is. Like scalpel, battle axe.
Can you share what attracted you about wow, I can't even read that. Your game is horror, right?
So it's genre neutral. So we have horror, we have a Western adventure, which is you're there to rob a train.
Mhm.
We have a adventure that's your survival on a mysterious island. It's a little more science fiction-y. We've got one where you have to break into an undersea facility like James Bond and break your buddy out.
Oh, that's cool.
We've got a miniature golf adventure. We've got a Christmas adventure. We have all types of adventures. But horror is my bread and butter. I love horror.
And what is it about that attracts you to horror?
So that's a fantastic question. What I think about horror is this: there's a certain way that I like the scares, but I like the idea of being scared. I'm easily frightened. Like going to a movie with me that's a horror movie is kind of terrible. So if there's any kind of jump scare on, like literally I jump out of my seat and I start tapping my feet on the floor. And you think I'm gonna do a Scooby-Doo run out of the thing, but like I love the aesthetic of horror, especially like old Hammer horror movies where the set mattered, where you could see everything in the nuance of the sets. I love the dark stories. I love watching a hero have to really come into their own and overcome adversity.
Yeah.
And also like there's this like certain comfort that I get from watching horror where it's, the world's so out of control, right? And I can't do anything about it to a degree, but I can like watch this movie, get like freaked out, get my adrenaline up, and like then you get to see the good guy win at the end, and you feel like, all right, I went on the journey I needed to.
Yeah.
And also, monsters are cool. I love monsters.
I do too. I think it's kind of special, like especially around Halloween. It's like you love to be scared, and
yeah,
and the tension that everything creates. Like,
oh yeah,
that mystery. When you don't know what's around the next corner.
Yeah, and it's a ride. It's a journey because you're there with the character, and you're like, don't do it. Don't answer. Don't go down the hall. Don't open that door.
Why would
go
you do
the other
that?
way? And then they do it, and you're like, yeah, all right. I would have done it too. Because like, as much as I'm telling you not to, I'm like, I hear something in the night in my apartment. I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta go. I gotta look.
Yep.
Whatever it is, I got to deal with this, and then you end up going, and then like a hockey mask killer jumps out and reminds you why you never wanted to go camping in the first place.
I don't know if you watch Mr. Nightmare on YouTube.
No, I've not. I'll check it out though.
He does all sorts of scary stories.
Love that.
So
love
check him
that.
out. He's awesome.
Awesome.
So how are you enjoying the convention so far?
I'm having a great time. I come to these things. Obviously, I'm here to like hawk my wares and sell my books, but being that I've been a part of the RPG hobby and community for almost a decade now, I've made some amazing and great friends by coming to conventions. And then this is the kind of like summer camp thing. It's like you only see your buddy this time of year. Like we talk on the phone all the time, we'll email, but like I got a great crew of friends that we got to spend time together, roll dice together. We all taking turns rolling, running the game. So I've gotten to play it in 2 games this weekend already, which I think it's 2 more than I've played in like 3 years. Been on that side of the fun side of the screen, and it's cool. It's cool to be able to check out other people's ideas and concepts, and you got to remember when you are an independent creator, like you're putting everything you have into the things that you make. So
Yep.
it's so wonderful to be around other people who are giving it their all too, and really trying to like turn you on to the things that make them feel alive and make them feel excited about, the TT RPG hobby and other stuff like
Yeah.
dragons.
And I'm finding that as I go around and I look at all the things that people have created, it's like, wow, this game is awesome. And you want to support them.
Yeah.
So you buy their game and then on to the next one. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. So you
Yeah.
come home with like 30 different games.
It's dangerous, right? I remember the very first set of dice I bought. I went to an old friend of mine's shop. He was a dude I went to high school with. He had a shop back in the day, and I went in and I'm like, which dice do I buy? And he was like, the dice will call to you. And I picked out this set of dice. He's like, just one? I go, no, I'm good. He's like, yeah. And my buddies were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, you only need one set of dice to play this game. I was like, I'm not going to need to buy more dice. You should see the amount of mason jars full of dice that I have in my apartment.
I am
like,
such a dice grumpy.
and
too.
that's it. And then you come to cons and like I'm across from a dice guy, and I'm like, I don't need to buy any more dice. And I know before the weekend, the will is weak. I'm gonna buy more dice.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like you see people's games, people's books. You see the artwork. And it's
I'm a sucker for like exclusive stuff. So
yeah.
Like, if there's an exclusive dice set that I can see or I can promote on my channel,
Yeah.
then I'm like, I'm getting it.
Yeah. Why not? Life is for the living and enjoying. Especially when it comes to games. Play more of them.
That's true. So if you could, if you were pitching Paige to someone that's never been, what would you say?
I think Paige is a great community affair. I think that, knowing that I've been in the hobby for a while, there's no real big conventions on the East Coast. And I love going to these conventions. I love going to Gen Con. I love going to Gary Con. I love, going places to play games and to meet people and to have these cool interactions. But, I'm from New Jersey, and not being able to go anywhere around me to have a con experience that's large, full of people, full of life, with tons of tables, tons of vendors, tons of everything that make a con cool and unique. Like, it's a bummer. And then Ron was like, yo, man, I'm making a con. It's going to be big. And then it got bigger, and then it got even bigger. So, like, I feel like this weekend I'm here having a great time. Anywhere I walk, I'm just seeing people, and I'm seeing people playing games, and I'm having the experience I want without having to drive to the Midwest.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And someday I'll make it out there. Like, we were going to go to Gen Con.
You have to go. It's so worth it. It's such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
But, it's nice for me in New Jersey to drive like an hour, 40 minutes to, hang out down here.
Yep. Yeah. So do you have a favorite TTRPG moment?
I do. I have a couple. I mean, I think, when you're in it and you play different games, you kind of have one from like a lot of each game has its own like special moment.
Yep.
But I'll tell you one. We started playing second edition. We switched at that point. Yes, I did. Okay. So we were playing second edition. We were playing it was this crazy dungeon crawl my buddy was doing. And we ended up in the basement of like this building. And we go in and we're fighting our way through. And we see a door that leads out. Like literally, the door leads out. You can see the sunlight. And everyone's like, we should go. and then we get rushed by a bunch of creatures, and they were like hobgoblins. And my other buddy's like, no, we should fight. Now, mind you, we've just been through this whole ordeal. Now we're like, there's a bunch of hobgoblins here. I could not just play a normal wizard,
Yep.
right? I had to play. Oh God, this is back when I actually thought about the characters I created. But my guy was Balthazar. He was like a circus performer, and he was a knife thrower. But also, it was like the first time I ever like multi-class or whatever. And so I had a spell book and I had spells, but I also had a bandolier full of like throwing daggers. And there was also, thankfully, a regular wizard in the party. So I'm going through it, and I'm throwing daggers at this guy, throwing daggers at that guy. I had already burned whatever spells I had upstairs. And so I'm kind of close to the door. The party is going down. I'm out of throwing daggers. I don't have a sword. I don't have any other weapon. I have nothing. And so I get flanked by this giant thing. And my DM's like, well, what are you going to do? You're out of knives. You're out of spells. And I was like, well, I'm going to smack it in the face with my spell book and run. And he's like, you'd have to roll a natural 20 for that to even work. He's like, because if you smack this thing in the face with your spell book, he's like, you're not going to kill it instantly. But if you want to try this, I'll let you try it. And sure as hell, the dice rolled in my favor. Natural 20. Everyone at the table popped. I smacked this thing in the face. I dropped the book. I smack him, drop the book, and I run. I was the only person in the party who survived the encounter.
That's awesome.
I told him we should have ran. The door was right there. It's their own damn fault.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of my all-time favorite moments.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're almost at time. But
Cool.
what about your favorite house rule?
Ooh, my favorite house rule. So I think my favorite house rule is if you're gonna cheat, do it fast. People fudge dice rolls, it's fine, but it's more if you're gonna do it because you feel like you need to do it, I don't care. That's fine, but don't slow the game down because I know you're doing it, and you know you're doing it, and you know that I know you're doing this. So you don't need to try to fool me. I'm gonna let it happen, But it's fine. It's fun.
Right.
That's my house rule.
That's a good house rule to have.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is 5 o'clock. We are
Awesome.
at time, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for.
Oh, my
the
absolute
interview.
pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you so much for having me. I was really excited when I got that email saying you were going to have me on the show.
Yeah.
So I got to get back to my table. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everybody.
Cameras on, and you guys all right?
All right. And we're back. And I have Ron Mishker here with me. And how you doing today, Ron?
I'm tired,
I bet.
but it's an exciting day here at Page. I mean, we so many people have come through the door, so many special guests. You know, a lot of great stuff coming up. I see our cosplay, one of our cosplay superstars, Black Man, coming through here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So have you managed to play in any games this year?
I ran a game on Thursday night. I ran Tomb of the Ancient War King on Thursday night.
Oh, cool. How did that go?
It went great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So tell me about the Kickstarter.
Well, it ends in a couple of days. Again, it's Tomb of the Ancient War King. It's an old school dungeon romp, and it's got lots of upgraded things you can do. You can do with the Kickstarter. You can get dungeon tiles. You can get isometric maps. You can get miniatures. You can get painted miniatures. So it's, unpainted miniatures. You can get an illustration book for every room, and it's really something special. And I'm glad I've finally been able to do that.
Yeah. And tell me about Orange Cat Games, how that came about.
Orange Cat Games is a collaboration between myself and my friend Chet Minton, who's an artist. And we also have Jen Glazer, formerly of Frog God Games, involved in that. And, that's what we produced this adventure under for the Kickstarter. And we're going to continue to put out content under that name.
Great. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I am wearing an Orange Cat Games t-shirt here.
She is.
So
looks good.
Check it out. Very comfortable. So this is Page's third year. What is new this year compared to last year?
Well, we added 82,000 square feet, so that's part of it. We have so many guests. We have a convention-long Shadow Dark event called Down the Dark Stairway that's been very exciting. We've got more vendors this year. And, I'm not going to say that growing pains aren't real. We're a third-year convention, and we're within 35 badges of reaching 3,000 sold or registered for the convention. So it's it's been a fast ramp up, and I'm going to be looking forward to taking a few days of R&R after this is done.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So you have been playing games pretty much since you were a kid, right?
Yeah, since 1981.
Wow. And are you the forever DM, or do you actually get to play in some games too?
I am playing in some games. I'm playing in a new Conan RPG from Monolith Games. Playing some of the Walking Dead RPG, and I get to play a little D&D every once in a while.
Oh, there you go. So on Friday Night Live, it's been very clear to me that you guys put in a ton of time to plan Page. So what is your process for planning such a successful convention?
Well, we're a 365-day promotion. We're going to start promoting Page 4 right after this convention is done. We have our dates set. It's January 14th to the 17th of 2027, and we start planning right away. We'll start putting together a revamped vendor roster and vendor layout for next year. That'll go out, and we'll start announcing special guests by the beginning of February. So we're pretty excited about what we have going on.
That's great. And you've also run another convention prior to this one, right?
I ran conventions in the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
in southern New Jersey, and it's a different world now. This is all online advertising and geofencing and those sort of things. So back then, you needed mailing lists, you needed your listing in Dragon Magazine, you needed your listing in Polyhedron, the RPGA newsine, and that's how you went about attracting people. You sent them registration books in the mail. They picked what they wanted. They wrote it down on the back cover, tore it out, stapled a check to it, and they sent it to you. Now everything's online through social media or through email services, and that's how everything's promoted now. So it is a bit easier that the administration of that is taken out of the equation, but in some ways it's harder as well.
The social media stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you always have to be on point when you're on social media. When you're running an event, you have to be concerned about not saying anything on your personal social media that may offend anybody or anything like that. Differing opinions can often, turn people away from what you're trying to accomplish. And so basically, you have to be on your P's and Q's all the time because you're under a constant magnifying glass.
Yep, I hear that. So tell me about Concoction, because that's coming up too.
Yeah, we kind of stumbled into running a convention this upcoming May 29th through the 31st at the new convention center in Vineland, New Jersey. It really came about because I went to a comic book show there. I just wanted to see the new convention center. And it turned out I knew the person who organizes the convention center rentals for the city of Vineland, who owns the convention center. And she pitched me on bringing the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo there, which we're just not going to do. We like the venue here in Oaks. We're going to grow in this venue here at Oaks, and but I said, well, maybe we can look at something, and they threw a pretty good offer at me, and we took it. So I'm looking for a nice, low-key, laid-back convention. That place has about 40,000 square feet, which is about 20% more footage than the first and second page had. So we're going to be able to do a bit with it, but unlike Page, which will continue to grow and things will happen there, we're looking to make sure Concoction stays small. I want it to stay manageable. It's very close to my house. I want it to be something that, where I'm going home at night and sleeping in my own bed, and I'm able to run games and playing games there.
Yep. So what kinds of...
Oh my God. You can't see this,
huh?
But off camera, Pickles has entered the building.
Yay! Free pickles!
Boo, Pickles!
Free pickles!
No Pickles! Bring Pickles over here. Bring Pickles over here. Come here.
See, I even have a free pickles
pin.
Yeah.
Hold that. Come here, Pickles. Put your hand right here. No, not there. You don't want to touch that.
Nice.
What are we doing?
We've got Pickle. Oh, look. So, Pickles, do you want to admit that you pooped on the floor last year at Page? Do you have nothing to say for yourself?
She's a dog. She
Pickles.
can't help it. Hey.
All right. We're going to let Pickles go. Pickles is camera shy. So.
Oh, that's cool. So as far as games go, what kinds of games are you going to be running there?
A lot. I'm going to be running a lot of games there. I'm going to be running Harefoot Jousting, which is a rules light miniatures game where halflings that are riding non-traditional mounts, like cats and geese and turkeys.
Oh, cool.
And they go into jousting tournaments and try to win prizes. And but of course, the mounts are non-traditional, so they're unpredictable. So some crazy things can happen. So it's a lot of fun. There's also a similar rules variant for goblins who ride on things like giant grubs and porcupines and hedgehogs and giant cockroaches. So I'm going to be running that there. I'm going to be running D&D or AD&D Second Edition, and I'm going to be running Badge Quest there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Badge Quest. That sounds fun.
I love Badge Quest. It's the players are basically Girl Scouts, and they're out selling cookies, but there's also mysteries to solve.
Oh, good. So it's like Girl Scout Scooby Doo.
It's like Girl Scout Scooby Doo. Exactly right. I mean, it's not as fun as Pirate Borg. We've got Pirate Borg creator Luke Stratton passing by right now, but it's fun nonetheless.
So what do you like the most about Writing Page, and what are some of the challenges?
I like seeing everybody at the convention. I like seeing how everybody's happy and they're enjoying themselves and they're having a good time. And frankly, let's face it, when you're at a game convention, a lot of other things don't matter. You're around people that you're aligned with because you want to have fun playing games.
Yep.
And all the other noise and other world politics and all that's out the window, when you're sitting around the table trying to accomplish a goal or just having fun. And that's what Page is all about. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy seeing people happy. I enjoy seeing people having fun. And I like to see the people who come back year after year after year. So it's a good time, and I enjoy it. Some of the challenges are you can't make all the people happy all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter how hard we try, and we can try. Another challenge with Running Page is, this is going to be the third year where we've had snow.
Yeah,
we're going to have more snow tomorrow morning, but not a lot we can do about that. The weather is the weather. We're gamers, and we're tough. We'll just play through it. And you're from New England, so snow. You're not afraid of any snow.
No, we're from New Hampshire, so we're pretty tough. As long as we don't have to drive home in 8 inches of snow, I'll be happy.
You'll be all right.
So when you're planning Page, what's a typical day look like for you?
Well, a typical day for me is I'm out there advocating for union carpenters during my day job within my region, trying to make sure that, all contractors are using are following the rules and everything's equal, because our union members need to work.
Yep.
But a lot of organizing Page happens at night. I built myself an office on my property. I head out there, and you put in time. You put in time on social media. You put in time on the website. You create advertisements. You communicate with people via email. You're answering inquiries on social media. So it's a daily thing. We keep up with it daily. It's not something we look to do 3 months out of the year. We get started early and we go from there.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite TTRPG moment?
My favorite anytime that my players' eyes get big and their mouths are agape because they didn't expect something to happen that just happened.
Mhm.
those are always my favorite moments.
Oh yeah,
They really are.
because you're getting the drop on them.
Well, it's just fun to see them enjoying themselves.
Yep.
You know, it's got to be about both sides. You know, not only does the DM have to have fun creating things, but the players have to have fun playing in it.
Mhm.
And you know, part of that makes me happy as a game master. You know, it's part of the interactive process of the games.
Oh yeah, like every time I DM, I'll ask people like, so what did you think? What could I improve? What did you think worked? What did you think didn't work? Like, give me feedback so I can improve.
Yep.
Um, so what about your favorite house rule?
You know, I have a few house rules. You know, when playing D&D, we give maximum hit points at first level. That's it. That's a definite house rule. We also doubled the dice rolls on critical hits, so we enjoy that. But yeah, I mean, you know, we play pretty close to rules as written, but we want to give characters a chance to survive at low level. So
Yeah,
we try to help them out with maximum hit points at first level.
that's what we do too.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you, I'm having an absolute wonderful time at Page.
Well, that's good to hear. And you know, you're an important part of Page. I mean, you became part of the Page family last year, and you're a cornerstone of our Friday night lives.
Well, thank you.
You know, and you know, I think a lot of credit goes to your husband because you have to really beat him down to get him to do everything you need done to get ready for Friday Night Live.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes he goes a little heavy on your lipstick though during the makeup process.
That's okay. He'll learn. No, but like he's helped me out a ton. Like he does all my camera work for me and everything, so I couldn't do it if it wasn't for him. But I appreciate, you know, you letting me join Friday Night Live with you guys. It's been an incredible experience.
Well, you're the star of that show, so
No,
we appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. And I'm so glad I got to come this year. And just like everybody's been incredible. Like the vendors have been great. Everything's been great. I've played in a couple of games. You know, and I wasn't sure how those would go, but it was all great.
Well, you know what? We're glad you're here. We're glad you're part of the Page family. We appreciate you, and thank you for all your enthusiasm regarding the convention.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, happy to do whatever I can to get the word out because it's a great convention.
Hey, look, it's prolific RPG author Matt Forbeck.
That asshole, he owes me money.
Yeah, of course he
no.
does. Oh, you just got us demonetized. But thank you.
Oh, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate
And
you too.
appreciate you holding down for it here at the interview booth.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I mean, you know, it takes a village, right?
That's right. And I'm the village idiot. So
No.
we will all right. Well, enjoy the rest of your convention.
I will. And hold on. I have something for you.
You have something for me?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
I didn't want to give this to you before we put in for the auction.
Okay.
But these are 2 sets of Braille dice,
Okay.
and they are for your gaming library.
Well, I appreciate that. These are, oh, wow.
So it's a
Thank you.
full set.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate these.
You're welcome.
So, all right. Well, enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Have fun.
Right.
Are we live?
We're
or-
live. Yep.
Okay. We're live right now.
All right. I'm here with Luke Stratton. So nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So for those of you who are not familiar with Luke's work, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure, my name's Luke. I'm also known as Limithron, which is Sindarin for Light Wizard.
Oh, that's what it means.
Yes. I used to be a concert lighting designer, but before I got to RPGs, and I designed and illustrated Pirate Borg,
Yes.
which is a rules light tabletop role playing game where you play as a terrible pirate in an undead infested version of the Dark Caribbean.
That's awesome. We
Yeah.
just made characters for it.
Oh, did you? Nice. What kind of character did you make?
I actually forget what I am.
Was it a filthy pirate?
Well, yes, it was a pirate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what it was like. I forget what she is. But
It's okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to start playing it.
Good. But yeah, it's a fun system. It's rules light. It's easy to get to the table. It's a nice palate cleanser, but it also works for long-term campaigns if you're used to like old
Yes.
school style of
Yep.
play. You know,
And it's compatible with Ragnarborg, right?
it is compatible with Ragnarborg. Ragnarborg is actually a hack of Pirate Borg, which is really weird because Pirate Borg is a hack of Morkborg.
Yep.
So we're going further down that evolution chain. Erica used a lot of the ship combat rules from Pirate Borg, and yeah. We're
That's
growing. We're
awesome.
expanding.
Yeah. Great, because now there's all these Borgs around.
So many Borgs.
So your love of pirates stemmed from Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, originally came from I rode the ride when I was a little kid, and I've been interested in pirates and especially like fantasy pirates my whole life.
Yep.
I used to play the pirate pocket model Spanish game, Pirates of the Spanish Main. Actually won a Gen Con tournament playing that.
Wow.
And yeah, and when the movies came out, I remember just being so excited that pirates are going to finally be part of pop culture because I've always been into them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that ride too.
yeah, it's
Wow.
fun. It's still fun.
It is still fun.
Yeah.
So how did the pandemic shape your decision to open a Patreon and draw pirate battle maps?
Oh wow. I mean, yeah, I was playing I was on a tour in South America before COVID. And I was in Chile, and there was this old Spanish fort. It had these cannons, and I just kind of started playing D&D fairly recently, 5th edition.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, man, it's so cool to run a pirate campaign. You know, I was thinking back to that pocket model Spanish game, Spanish main game, and there's all these like cursed factions in Spanish and English. So when I got home, I got together a group. We started running this campaign, and I had a blast. But then when COVID happened, you know, I was drawing these ship battle maps, and they started getting better and better. And finally, I was like, oh well, I'm not working. Maybe I can like make a Patreon making these battle maps. And by the end of lockdown, it was paying our mortgage.
Wow.
So it really kind of popped off because I think there was a need for good ship maps. And then from there, yeah, one thing led to another, and before you knew it, I was working on my own game. So
That's great. I mean, I always see you on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that.
yeah,
So that's amazing.
thanks.
So when did you know you wanted to write Pirate Borg, and what was the process like for you?
Sure. Well, like I said, in COVID, I was kind of focusing on the Patreon and making lots of battle maps, like 3 or 4 a month. And I was running this online campaign. We called it Tales from the Caribbean. I was getting kind of burned out,
Yep.
And I needed to take a break from prepping the game. And we all rotated, all my players are GMs. And so we each took turns running different systems. My friend Kevin ran Morkborg for us. And we had the most fun we'd ever had playing a role-playing game at the time. We were like just cackling and having a great time. I think it was 4 sessions. And that really, I was kind of getting into the OSR and paying attention to Knock and Dark Hot Springs Island. But playing Morkborg really kind of solidified. I was like, you know what? I could probably hack this because they have a very permissive open license. It's like, dude, I should hack this, make a zine called Pirate Borg. One thing led to another. I I had a playtest document, and then like a short book, and then a medium book, and then we kickstarted it, and it did really, really well, and we made it a really long book, and now people seem to really like it. So like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's a slow but loving process, which I think has paid dividends in the number of hours people have had fun playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you write a like a companion book to go with that?
Yeah, we kickstarted Down Among the Dead last September, and it is like full-blown expansion to Pyreborg. It's 3 full-length adventures, a 1-page dungeon, 3 new classes, 36 level up options for players, and a bunch of random tables. Like there's a drop table for making islands, a drop table for making coral reefs, and a Jolly Roger flag generator.
Wow.
But then like I was making that, but we're like, hey, we're gonna do this Kickstarter. At Gen Con that year, I had seen a starter set for another game. I think it was the Arkham Horror RPG, and I was really impressed by the production quality, but also thinking, hey, we could totally do this. Like up to that point, I was thinking of starter sets as like a very like intro level product, and I was like, hey, we could make one that's like intro but also amazing. And so I spent basically a lot of last year writing an adventure for that and getting the components ready for that. And both Down Among the Dead and the starter set shall be arriving. They're actually either in our warehouse now or they're in customs, waiting to clear customs so that we can ship them to backers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you also wrote Naval Combat.
Yeah. I forgot to mention before I started writing Pyreborg, when I was running my Tales of the Caribbean 5e game, I had a lot of trouble doing ship combat because there weren't any good ship combat rules out there, or the ones that were out there were too much like a war game. They were too crunchy.
Yep.
And if we ran them at the table, it would just suck up the whole session. So I got to work writing my own naval combat system, which we call Limothron's Guided Naval Combat. And it really goes well with Ghost of Saltmarsh. Some people have adapted it for Spelljammer. And it's really a narrative, like a player-focused, role-playing focused version of naval combat. And yeah, it's gone. People seem to really like it, which is really cool. Even today, I mean, I still get people messaging us about, oh, I'm starting a naval combat or a pirate campaign in my 5e game. What ships should I give them, or how do I, convert monsters into ships, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool because I've always had a hard time with like really crunchy systems.
Yeah.
So having a more player-focused naval combat system sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if anybody who's been like paying attention to my output can tell that I've gotten further and further into rules light stuff, further into the OSR, and try to like focus on it being fast and fun at the table.
Yep.
Because a lot of like hardcore gamers are really into the crunchy bits, but I'm not into that. I'm into the story. So the stuff that we're making, I try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm all about the story too.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good crunchy system, but it requires everyone to be on board. And I play with so many groups where like, well, am I going to teach this to these people right now? Am I going to give them a copy beforehand and hope they read it? Are we going to argue about rules? And I try to avoid as much of that kind of stuff as possible and just focus on the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because really, I mean, it's a combination of story and combat. So.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've had so many. Like I just ran a session today. I'm running this. It's called the Gold Bug. It's kind of a Goonies style treasure dungeon.
Ooh.
With Pirate Lord dungeon. It's inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's The Gold Bug, which is a poem about pirate treasure. And I ran that today, and we did a 3-hour session, 25 room dungeon, no combat. And like it's a blast sometimes to like have that pendulum swing of like it doesn't have to always be cutlasses and daggers. Sometimes it can just be good old dungeon crawl but with no monsters.
My go-to is always trying to talk to him first.
Oh yeah, well this dungeon didn't there's nobody even in the dungeon. It's just all old puzzles and dead pirates. Now spoiler, if you get to the end and you mess with the Pirate Lord's treasure, you might have some forces to deal with, but
well, that goes with anything.
I mean, of course, yeah.
With treasure, there's always risk.
Yes.
So how are you enjoying the convention so far?
Oh, it's been great, man. I've seen so many friends from the industry. I ran a play test last night for something new I'm working on that's top secret and I can't tell anybody about. And that was a blast. We ran a panel on Thursday called "The State of the OSR" with some fellow creators of mine. We dig deep into one of the hot topics you see on the forums of what the OSR is and where it's going and what even is OSR.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it's been good. It's been a fun time hanging out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to check out any vendor hall booths?
I think I've seen every vendor here at least 3 times because we don't have a booth at this convention. It's just me, which has been really nice for me because there's a lot less responsibility.
Yes.
And I've just been bounced around. I think my haul from this convention is the biggest in 2 years, maybe. I have bought so many. I mean, there's so many. First off, there's tons of vendors with new like OSR zines and books, but there's also a bunch of guys with old collections. I picked up a Larry Elmore signed Monster Manual 1 and 2 from AD&D First Edition. I picked up the 3rd edition Forgotten Realms campaign book, which Ed Greenwood and company. I've heard it's like one of the best campaign settings of all time. Really, of course, not just the setting, but the specific book. So like my haul, I mean, I'm glad I brought a big suitcase because I probably have 2 backpacks worth of like zines and books. I got the new Mouse Ritter Mega Dungeon. So many great things. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's why we drive up.
Yeah.
We pack the car and then we load it up with everything that we purchased.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is since I've had time, I can go dig through all those bins. Like Levi Combs brought so many old and new zines. I mean, he had Wormskin zines from Gavin Norman, like first 3 issues. He's got some Skull Fungus zines. Is great, some great stuff, great grabs. Yeah.
So, okay. What's the coolest thing you've seen at Page so far?
Ooh, the coolest thing I've seen at Page. I mean, it is really cool seeing a lot of the YouTube creators that we all watch all the time. Just out there playing games, and honestly seeing the people who play in their games respond to them. We got Professor Dungeon Master, Baron Durop. I mean, Kelsey Dion's here. We've got Bob the World Builder here today. So it's cool to see these people like out interacting and a kind of a like this show's a lot smaller than like Gen Con, and the number of I guess if you will dungeon tubers, celebrities per attendee ratio is really good. So you get to actually like kind of not just see them or play games with them, but have chats and interact. So
yeah. I mean, last year it was awesome. I got to meet Bob and Baron and Professor DM. I actually played in one of his games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This time, so
I mean, like he runs games at Gen Con, but he runs like 2, and how many people are at Gen Con? It's like literally 1,000 times more people at that convention. So
you don't even get a chance to talk.
Yeah, maybe even like 3,000 times more. Yeah, you don't even get. Yeah, I when I see him, it's like, oh hi Dan, bye, and then but here it's like, oh, okay, let's have a chat about a game design topic or something. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'd like to go to Gen Con.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared of the housing situation, but
yeah, the housing situation is. I mean, it's tough for us, and we are a vendor. Like we ran the. I think Pirate Borg was the 8th or 9th most run RPG at Gen Con last year, and we still have to like fight to get hotel rooms. It's like it's hard for everybody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it will happen someday. So what advice would you have for other people who are looking to publish their own game someday?
Oh man, the only advice I cannot give is that you just got to follow your heart. Make something that you want to exist in the world. That's the only reason Pirate Borg exists. The only reason it's been successful is because I made something that I wanted to exist that wasn't in the world, and now it is in the world. So yeah, if you're going to make something, it's really not worth your energy, in my opinion, as a person on the planet, to spend your time on something that you don't really want to exist. And then from there, you got to make good moves. I would say one thing to keep in mind is that marketing and advertising, like some people feel like they're like selling themselves or that they're like, doing self-promo spam, but you need to reframe that and think of it as you are investing in broadcast and finding your audience. We have so many people who have played Pirate Borg who found it from a Facebook ad, or found it because we sponsored something. Like, well, we do that not to make money. We do that to grow our community. And we know that the game will be better served by having more people in the community, more people to bounce ideas off of. So like just reframe marketing and advertising and know that those are like essential parts of any business in a 2026, like AI taking over, like marketing, social media world. Everybody's attention is so stretched. They're not going to find your game amongst the millions of other games out there if you're not willing to like do some promo and marketing.
Yeah, that's something I'm learning too, because I have a channel on YouTube, and it's just the promotion has been hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, even bands. If you look at the music industry, like it used to be like there was an A&R department that would find artists, and then they found the big artists, and then they would promote them really, really big. And then everyone would know those artists. That's how it was up until the 90s and the internet started showing up. But now we're on the other side of that, and there are so many bands that you're never going to, just because some one person really is into a band, like, well, they're not going out to the mall and talking to their 20 friends about it. Like, they're on the internet. And you have...
Malls are pretty much dead.
Yeah, exactly. My malls are dead. People are hanging out online, and online space is unfortunately largely run by corporations. In order to get through the noise, you have to market, you have to advertise. So it's unfortunate. Every now and then you get a breakthrough that really can rise above without the advertising. But I mean, even big projects like all the stuff from Free League or Shadow Dark. I mean, those projects are great projects, but they also have marketing plans and advertising. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a business person, but
you need it.
Yeah, don't forget that that's part of getting it into people's hands.
Yeah. That's why I had this printed.
Yes. What does it say? See the game differently. Yes. Yes.
And there's a QR code on the back, so
that's great. Yeah.
So so what about your favorite house rule?
Oh, wow. Actually, it's cool that you asked that, because I forgot to mention in Down Among the Dead, there is 20 house rules that I wrote after years of playing it to figure out, I think some of the ones that we, fun to talk about on an interview like this. We've got one called cosplaying in the sand, which if you're playing Pirate Borg in costume or with any pirate gear, your character has free access to that equipment or clothing or gear. So if you're playing at my table and you show up with a fancy tricorn and a flintlock pistol, your character has them as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you see all the pirate stuff, like the cosplay stuff?
Oh yes, yeah. I saw some people walking around, and there's a vendor down this way. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
So what about what is your, did I ask you about your favorite RPG moment?
Ever?
It doesn't, yeah.
Wow. That's so hard.
I mean, it could be recent, it could be...
how about my favorite RPG moment at Page?
Sure, yes.
Because I got to play a couple, we had a really fun game last night, the Top Secret RPG. Actually, I think this is my favorite moment, maybe of the past few years.
Okay.
So I can't reveal any details about this RPG, but it is a GM'd RPG, and of course I was the GM. There is a catastrophe table.
Ooh.
And someone did roll on the catastrophe table, like an arcane misfire kind of catastrophe table, and they rolled a 1. And the result of 1 on this table is that everybody at the table, including the GM, have to rotate a seat to the left.
Okay.
And for 15 minutes, you have to assume that new character.
Oh, that's cool.
So my friend Joseph R. Lewis, amazing adventure writer, he took my seat as the GM in this brand new system that I'm working on, and took over and outshone me as a GM in 15 minutes to the point where we were clapping and laughing. I played somebody else's character, and it was really, really hilarious moment. Really, really fun time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My husband used to play with his friends, and they had a rule that the last person that died
Yeah.
was also the person to GM the next session.
Oh, nice. That works well. Yeah.
So, do you prefer to run games or play in them?
Definitely, I prefer to run them. I have played a lot of games the past year or two. I run a meetup.com group in Denver where we have 2 sessions every time we meet. And so even if I run one session, I play in the other. And I definitely have learned I much prefer to GM. And I do like playing, but GMing is definitely my preference. Also at conventions, yeah. And I've never even really played in a super long campaign where I was a player. I get more out of the world building, and I really like prep. I always say that reading RPGs and prepping RPGs is playing RPGs. So yeah, I think that's my preference.
Okay, so the more you read different RPGs, the more you prep, and then the easier it is to run them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm always my RPG library has gotten pretty expansive over the past few years, and I just love like like a wizard, like combing through the tomes and learning tricks from new designers and tricks from old designers, or different ways to reframe things, looking at different random tables, different lore, different monsters. Like I said, I just got those first edition monster manuals, so
Yep.
like I've got a bunch of monster manuals, but I don't have the first edition ones, so I'm excited to go back and see the history. So yeah, I just get a lot more out of that. I'm not looking to like do one heroic action or do a series of heroic actions or like develop one character. I'm much more into like the big broad strokes. So I think GMing is just a better fit for me.
Yeah.
And I'm a game designer, so I get to
Yeah. So what is the most exciting part of that process?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think just peeling back the layers one by one and not knowing, opening the door. It's kind of like a dungeon crawl. You open the door, you don't know what you're gonna find. Like there needs to be a town here, and there's a wizard tower, but you don't know what people are there. You don't know what the NPCs nearby. What does the wizard want other than the quest he's giving?
Yeah.
And also like, oh, I'm working on a new setting. Are there owl bears? Are there gelatinous cubes? Are there dragons? How does magic work? All those things are really fun to think about and make decisions about. Each one is impactful. And now at this point, I think when I started, you're making games, you're working on your setting. Maybe somebody will play it. Maybe my patrons will play it. Or if you're a GM at home, maybe my 4 or 5 or 6 players will play it. But now, I'm full time. There's 3 of us total full time at Limithron. Like, I know if I make a new game, people are going to play it. Maybe not a ton, but I know that people will play it. And that's really exciting because every decision I make, I know this is going to ripple. If I say there's no goblins in this setting, it's going to ripple to every game of this game that's ever played. If I say all the pirates have 3 eyes, that's going to be said at conventions like for the rest of that game's life. That's exciting. That's a really exciting thing to like make something and then make a sandbox and have other people like explore it with you and for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Jen.
Yeah.
Kind of early, so in a minute or two, we'll wrap up.
Okay. Okay. So I guess we're at time.
Yeah, I have a note here that says that they need the camera for the auction.
Oh.
So I guess I'm,
I am so sorry. Okay.
sorry everybody.
But yeah, it was wonderful chatting with you
It was
today.
also wonderful chatting with you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the rest of the convention.
I will do. Thanks. See you guys.